my main goal with what I'm doing with Awaken Inside, first of all, I'm not always going to be known as Eric the gym owner. In fact, I have started to branch out into other passion projects. I coach men full time on removing a lot of sinful vices from their life and also helping them to hone in the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. So that's a big thing that I've been passionate about recently with the Iron Mind Tribe and with my podcast, According to Men, with just helping giving practical advice from my own personal experience to young men and older men alike that just need that real practical on the ground level advice, because I think so many times we hear it from these big time leaders and entrepreneurs and business owners, and it almost just doesn't seem genuine or legitimate because there's usually like, hey, buy my course, or they're so far up there in our perception of success, either from a monetary standpoint or what have you, that there's just this level of detachment there. So I try to
Yeah.
just be as real and as like honest as possible about everything so that it's extremely relatable. But what I have planned for the not so distant future within the next 2 to 5 years is I want to open up an academy for kids in middle school and high school called Awaken Inside the Academy. And this is going to be a separate schooling system from our government schooling system to give a lot of Christ driven and patriotic families the opportunity for their kids to get a really good education without having to worry about all of these outside influences and agendas that are happening right now, and go back to the foundation. But the reality is too, especially in our market and our economy, is most parents are dual income households. If
Yeah.
they need to homeschool their kids, it takes significantly away from their bandwidth of their businesses, and nobody wants to have to juggle a priority between them being able to feed their families and being able to take care of and prosper their families as well.
True.
And I want this to be a veteran owned or a veteran operated business to give back here to the local community here in Virginia Beach, which is a very heavily military community, and do this all through a non-for-profit basis. I think one of the things that I've got under control from my background in the construction industry is what the build is going to look like. What the space is going to embody. But I think as far as putting the curriculum together and focusing on those right things and hiring the right people is going to be my biggest hurdle to get through. I want it to be extremely intentional, and I don't want kids to have to go home and do homework for something that their parents are already paying good money for them to learn everything within that time frame that they're there. I think that's one of the biggest things that we've missed over the years that I experienced, even just being born in the early 90s. It still happened to me. And that takes away from the quality time and the teachings of our parents, which is oftentimes the best advice that we can get. And I think we've gone away from that as a culture, a community, and a country. And I want to just bring that back to every family in America. So what will end up being a beta test here in Virginia Beach is, once all goes well, will be propagated across the United States.